Hello everyone, my name is Jane and welcome to my fall special. Basically the next few videos are going to be all in fall themed, and I personally live in a hot country, so for me it's summer most of the year, but I'm really trying to get into the fall vibes and into the spooky season. I'm just very excited. And to start this very exciting fall special, I'm going to start with a fall book haul. I have 26 books here today and most of them are in fall themed or in spooky themed. I have a lot of dark fantasy, also horror, thrillers, just a lot of exciting things. Now yes, I only had a very huge birthday book haul a little bit over a month ago, so how I have 26 books in a book haul today, I don't know, I don't have an answer. I just don't have any self-control. So I think that let's just start. And usually I separate book hauls in genres, so I think I will start with the dark fantasy. And basically if you don't know what is dark fantasy, I also didn't know, I'm pretty new to dark fantasy, but this is basically some sort of horror with fantasy, just more of a dark story and more gloomy. Just sounds really good. And the first dark fantasy book is House of Salt and Sorrow by Erin A. Craig. The cover is really pretty and also it's really fluffy, so that's amazing. Basically this is a dark fantasy story and this is the 12 princesses retelling. Not familiar with the original story, but basically in this book 12 sisters lives in a manor, but those sisters are starting to die one after the other, and basically we are following one of the sisters who is trying to understand what is happening and why her sister keeps dying. I actually heard a lot of mixed reviews about this book, but I'm really excited to get to it, as first of all I'm really trying to get more into dark fantasy, and every dark fantasy recommendation video that I watched talked about this book. I also see it a lot on Book Talk lately, so yes, I'm just really excited to get to it and I hope to love it. And the next dark fantasy is a new release, and this is The Mark of the Wicked by Georgia Bowers. I think it's a debut, which is really cool, and basically the plot is following a teenager, and this teenager is a witch, and the most important thing that she learns is that nobody can know she is a witch and that she has magic. But one day some new boy at school catches her doing some magic and things starting to get complicated from there. Now I actually read a few of the first pages of this book and it was really bizarre and really creepy, and it felt to me like those kind of books that I really love, like those atmospheric books with an uneasy and unsettling feeling. Also the cover is so gorgeous, like it looks really amazing. I really hope to get to it as soon as possible because it looks just really good. Yes, hopefully I will read it soon and I really want to love it. Now the next book is a book that I already read and I already talked about it in the channel because this is The Wicked Deep by Shea Ernstnow. This is my most favorite book of 2021. I have a whole video talking about this book, so I will leave it right here. But basically this story following a cursed town where 200 years ago the town people killed 3 sisters because they thought that they are witches. Since then every year those sisters are coming back to kill boys. The cover is really stunning, but the really excited thing is that I already bought Shea Ernstnow other book, and this book is Winterwood. Now first of all, yes, the cover is so gorgeous. Look how it shines, but the really amazing thing is how the book looks under the dust jacket. Oh my god, like, oh my god, it looks so beautiful. When I got the book and I removed the dust jacket, I was just so shocked. Like, this is so pretty. Now, I actually don't know a lot about this book. I know that the main character of the story is a teenager that people think she is a witch or something like this. I honestly don't want to know anything. I just want to go to it blind. Sure, it will be 5 stars because The Wicked Deep was the most amazing book ever. I loved it so much and the writing here was really gorgeous, so I'm sure that I'm going to love it. Yes, I'm just really waiting to read it. I'm so excited, and oh my god, yes. And the next book is actually a duology, and this is The All Stars and Thief duology by Adeline Grace. This is the first book and the second book is All the Tides and Fate. Now I'm not sure if it's considered dark fantasy. Just from what I read about this book and all the praises, people say that this story is really dark. This is basically a fantasy, so I'm going to include it in this part of the video. But basically we are following a princess of an island. There is a really cool world there that is made of a lot of islands, and basically this princess was trained all of her life to be the master of souls, a role that is passing in her family for generations. But for her to be the master of souls, she needs to prove herself to all of the people in her island. But something is supposed to happen. She's getting banished from her island, and then when she's going, she's meeting a mysterious pirate. So this is basically a lot around the sea and pirates. Like, it sounds really cool. I'm really trying to get more into the mermaids, pirates, those kind of books because I never read those books, and I heard really good reviews about this duology, so I'm really excited to get to it. Now, the next books are horror books, because how can I do a fall book haul without horror books? And the first book is A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. This is a horror gothic story, and this is a retelling about Dracula, but we are following the bride of Dracula, and I'm pretty sure that this is a Sapphic story, like the bride of Dracula is Sapphic, so it sounds really cool. Now, I heard amazing reviews about this book. Like, I heard that the writing is so amazing. The book itself is pretty short, like it has 240 pages, like you can see, really short, but I just heard that the writing is so poetic and so beautiful. I actually didn't read the original Dracula story, so I'm not sure if I want to read it before that or not, because I'm just trying to be realistic and understand if I will ever read Dracula. Maybe I will audiobook it, I don't know. Tell me what you think I should do about it. But yes, I'm really excited to read it. Again, amazing reviews, so I really hope to love it too. The next book is a book that I wanted to get for so long, and this is The Whisperman by Alex North. Now, this is the edition in my native language, and basically this is a horror thriller book, and we are following a man that is moving into a new town with his family, but when they are getting into this town, they learn that this town has a dark history, and 20 years ago, there was some kind of killer that was called the Whisperman, and he basically kidnapped children. Okay, I'm not sure if people or children, but he kidnapped a lot of people, and now in this current time of the story, some children get disappeared again, so it just sounds really good. I heard really good reviews about this book. I really hope to love it. Seems those kind of books that I would really enjoy, so I'm really excited to read it. And the last horror book is a horror manga, and this is Shiver by Junji Ito. I already showed it in my September TBR. This is basically another Junji Ito manga. I read 2 of Junji Ito books. I have Uzumaki on my TBR, and I really wanted to get another Junji Ito manga because we are getting into the spooky season, and I feel like I have to have some Junji Ito books on my TBR. This is basically a short story collection about a lot of really creepy stories. Junji Ito stories are really gore, so you need to be prepared if you want to read them. But yes, like, I have high hopes for this book. I really hope to love it. I read already a lot of short stories before by Junji Ito, so I feel like his short stories are usually hit or miss for me. So I really hope to love most of the stories here, and yes, I'm really excited to read it. And now I have a few thrillers. I feel like thrillers are also perfect to read in spooky season because they are thrilling and like you're getting scared for the characters. I don't know, like, I feel that this is very fitting. And the first book is Layla by Colleen Hoover. This isn't only a thriller, this is a thriller romance. Basically, Colleen Hoover is a romance author, and she already wrote a thriller romance in the past, Verity, which is one of my most favorite books ever. It was so good. Now, I actually heard a lot of mixed reviews about this book. I'm not sure what to expect and how much I'm going to love it, but most of Colleen Hoover books that I read, I really loved, and I think that this is her newest release. Like, I'm not sure if it was released in 2020 or 2021, but this is her newest release, so I'm really excited to get to it. I just love Colleen Hoover so much. She's one of my most favorite authors, and yes, this is basically about a husband and a wife, and the wife, Layla, is starting to act strange or something like this. I honestly don't want to know too much. I'm just really excited to read it because it's Colleen Hoover. I love her. And the next book is Escape Room by Megan Goldin. This is another book in my native language. I know that there is a movie, Escape Room. I'm not sure if the movie is based on this book or not, but basically we're following multiple characters that are invited to participate in an escape room from their work, but when they are actually getting to the escape room, they are realizing that this isn't a regular escape room, and this escape room can kill them, and like, it sounds really good. It was in a discount, like, this is the main reason that I got it. And the next thriller is An Apartment in Paris by Guillaume Mosso. I also got this in a discount. It was so cheap, I couldn't not get it, but the main reason is because I already read a book from this author. This book, I read it a lot of years ago, I think when I was in high school, and it actually was really interesting. In high school, I never read thrillers, and this was one of the only thrillers that I could actually finish, so I really wanted to check more things by this author. And basically, the main character of the story goes to a new apartment or something like this, but there was some kind of problem and mistake, and another man also got the same apartment, so they need to live in this apartment together. This is a thriller, so like, I'm not sure, but it sounds like a story that can be potentially really interesting, and I think that this is is also short. Yes, under 300 pages. Sounds to me like a good short thriller to read. And now the next two books are two books in a series. This is basically a fantasy contemporary series, and I think that it will be really perfect for the fall because it gives me a lot of fall vibes. Basically, this series is Those Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling, and I have also the second book, This Coven Won't Break. And yes, this is basically a fantasy contemporary romance story about a teenager witch, and basically she can't show anyone her magic because she can lose it if someone will know that she is a witch. Now, maybe you see a theme with the books that I showed you before, but I actually really love books about witches. I remember that I read a lot of them in high school, and since I got back into reading this past year, I didn't read any books about witches, and when I realized it, I just wanted to buy a few books about witches because I just really love the concept of witches, and I think that this series is going to be really cute. It sounds to me like a contemporary romance, really cute teenage story, but also fantasy with witches. It's also Sapphic, the main character of the story, trying to avoid her ex-girlfriend or something like this. And yes, when I found about this series, I just knew that I really want to get it and that I really want to read it. This is definitely one of my priority reads for this fall. I really want to read it as soon as possible. I think it will be just really fun time. I'm not sure if this is a duology or if there is going to be a fourth book or not, but currently there is only 2 books released in the series, and I'm really excited to get to them. And now the next books are actually romances. I know that this isn't very fall themed, but those are more books that I bought at the end of the summer, so I feel like this is my last summer reads that I bought. And yes, I just want to share those with you today. Now, the first one is actually a book that my real life friend bought me for my birthday. It just arrived after my birthday book haul, and this is You Had Me at Holla by Alexis Daria. And this sounds really good because we're basically following a star. The main character of the story is a soap opera star, and she had a really messy public breakout, and she's trying to make things better because she's famous and like to make everything looks better again. But then she meets another famous man, and this is an adult romance, so it's supposed to be steamy and really fun time. I think that I'm really going to love it. I don't know, like the cover really got me, and it looks like a really fun time. It's also really fluffy, which I love so much. And yes, it's just so pretty. I'm so happy that my friend bought me this because I really wanted it. Thank you so much. And yes, I'm so excited to get to it, and I hope to read it as soon as possible. And the next romance is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, and this is a highly praised book. Like, this is one of those really hyped up books. Usually I'm really scared from hyped up books because there is so many expectations, but I don't know, I feel like I'm really going to love it. This is basically work enemies to lovers. Now, I read a few work enemies to lovers before, and I usually don't really love the concept, but something in this feels to me like maybe it could be very enjoyable. Just really hyped up. I really want to read it and to understand what the hype is around. I will probably read it in the audio because I heard that the audio is really amazing, and yes, I really hope to love it like everyone. Now I have another Colleen Hoover book. I just love her writing so much, and this is actually a romance. Most of Colleen Hoover books are new adult romances, but this is a YA one, and this is Regretting You. This is the copy in my native language. I just bought it a few days ago. I'm so excited to read it. This is basically a romance story, but it deals not only with romance, but mainly a lot with family, and it basically talks about the relationship between main character and her mother. I think that this is dual POV. We have also the POV of the teenager and also the POV of the mother. It looks like a really touching story, and a story that I'm really going to love. Like all of Colleen Hoover books that I read. I read a YA romance from her before, and I really loved it. Like, I was so surprised. I think that she's doing YA romance also really well, and I'm really excited to get to it. Like, it's Colleen Hoover. I just so excited. And I have also I Own You One by Sophie Kinsella, and I actually read a few books by Sophie Kinsella before. One of them I really love. The second one really disappointed me, but I really want to read more books by Sophie Kinsella because I really love the writing. Also, the cover is so cute, like pink and yellow. Like, I really love it. But basically, the main character of the story needs to take care of the family business. I'm not sure why, but this is her father's store, and now she needs to take care of it. Before that, she is not sure that she wants to take care of it. So this is supposed to be a romance story, but also about family and how the business is important or not. The book that I loved from Sophie Kinsella was also not only around romance, so I really hope to love this one. Like, I have high expectations, and I hope to get to it soon. And I have 2 romances books that I already read, and I already also showed you my physical copy in videos before. I just officially didn't hold them, so I will do it now really quickly. First one is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, one of my most favorite audiobooks ever. I really wanted to get a physical copy excited because I just love this book so much. It's so fluffy and it's amazing and it's so beautiful. Like, you just keep looking at it non-stop. And the second book is Made in Korea by Sarah Sook, my favorite YA high school romance that I read this year. I display it here, so you see it a lot in videos. Yes, again, I didn't officially hold it, but this is amazing. I love the cover so much. And yes, I'm happy that I have this book. Now I have two graphic novels. The first one is actually summer themed, not fall themed, and this is The Gore from the Sea. I already read it in August. It was so amazing. I really love the story. And this is basically a YA sapphic story about coming out and coming of age story. It talks about romance and family and friendship. It was also beautiful. I really recommend it. And the second one is Delicate by Brenna Fundler. And this is basically the second graphic novel of Sheets. Now, I didn't read Sheets, but I really wanted to get a second graphic novel because I feel the Sheets will be a perfect graphic novel to read or in the fall or in the winter. It has very gloomy vibes. Like, it seems very sad and gloomy, which I think is perfect for fall and winter. So yes, I just really wanted to get a second one. Now, the next book is actually a random historical fiction. I don't read a lot of historical fictions, but I do want to read more because usually when I read them, I really enjoy them. And this book is very hyped up. And this is the book Fifth by Marcus Dosak. And I'm really excited to read this book because this book sounds so interesting. This is basically takes place in World War II. And we are following the story of Liesel. And Liesel steals books in the time of World War II. But the really cool thing is that the POV of the story is death. The death itself. It just sounds to me like a really different and unique book. I'm really hoping to love it. I usually pretty intimidated from historical fictions. I just feel like it will be more slow and more character driven. But I do have some character driven books that I really love. Although the plot is really slow there, I feel like it really depends on the writing. And the writing seems really unique here, so I'm really hoping to love it. And now I have some fantasy books from series that I just wanted to get for the series. The first one is the second book of Nevermore. It's called Wondersmith, The Calling of Morgan Crow. I never read middle grade, but I read the first book of Nevermore in August. I loved it so much. The cover in my native language is gorgeous. I'm pretty sure they steal it from the French covers. So yes, it's just really pretty. And I also got Scarlet and Cress, the second and the fourth book in the Lunar Chronicles series. I love the Lunar Chronicles so much. I read the three first books in my native language, so I didn't have the three first books in those covers, but I really wanted a set. So now I finally have a set and I need to show you all the books together. Look at them! They look so good together. I'm so excited that I finally have the whole set. It looks amazing together. I really love the new covers. And yes, this is one of my most favorite series that I read this past year. I loved it so much. So yes, those are all of the books. I'm so excited for all of them. Not everything was in fall themed, but I feel like a good amount was dark fantasy, horror, thrillers books that I'm so excited to read. There's so many reads that I think that they are perfect for fall season. I hope that you're excited for this fall special. I'm so excited for all the videos that I'm planning. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next fall special video. But until this video, you can check more videos by me. And yes, I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone!